One-foot-flipper.
Hi, Paige here, the One-Foot Flipper. How's it going? I know it's been about a week, but it was my daughter's birthday week, and my wife takes a week off work every year for that. We don't ever actually go on vacations before because we couldn't afford it. Now, just because I'd have to shut down the eBay store and I'd suck most of the fun out of the vacation. Eventually, we will somehow get around to doing that like other families can, but we still haven't yet. But between my wife being home and a bunch of activities and my daughter's friends staying here for half the week, I was pretty busy and could barely keep up with my orders, much less, extracurricular activities as well, like doing YouTube videos. But wife went back to work today. I got out of bed at the crack of 10, and I am ready to work. I try to get out of bed at 8:55. That way I can clock in at 9 o'clock, and be right to work. Just like other people who had to get up at 7 o'clock to do the same thing. It's one of the good things about eBay. About a month ago, I was with Meta Bubbles at Buffalo Wild Wings. No big deal. We were sitting there checking out that all-you-can-eat wings. Suddenly, both our phones went off. This text message from the JDF was a picture of him holding up $23 that said, "The summer slowdown is for chumps." And you know what? He might just be right. I've had massive sales all summer. I'm currently sitting at $9,000 past 30 days, which is basically, that's about what I was doing before I started my channel when the last of the COVID money was still around, but I haven't been doing those kind of numbers since I started my channel, really. But I'm really going in on it now, getting good buys, selling good stuff, avoiding mistakes. Like, I just sold these Warhammer bunkers here for $400, and I had them listed for 1 hour. That's right, $400, 1 hour, goodbye. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to be selling and that I need to be selling. Not only that, I've sold 40 game consoles in the past week and a half. As you might remember from a recent video, I recently bought 50 game consoles. And in the last week and a half, I've sold 40 of them. You know why I was able to sell them that fast? It's not because of sell-through rate. Sell-through rate won't always do it for you, but you know why? Because I recognize that those are high-velocity items. Sell-through rate doesn't matter with high-velocity items as long as you know what to do. And by high-velocity, I mean not only does one of that item sell every day, 10 of that item sells every day, maybe 20, 30, 40. Which means with a high-velocity item, it can have a horrible sell-through rate. There can be 10,000 listed, but if 25 of them sell per day, you can sell yours in days by having a good description and the right price. It also means with a high velocity item, you can accelerate that markdown schedule that I tell everybody to have. So I started marking down my game consoles from the set 24 hours after I put them up. I have marked down all my game consoles $1 every day since I put them up. They've only been up a week and a half, started with 50, and I have 10 left. Probably, by the time you finish watching this video, it'll probably be less than 10 left. And that can work for just about anything that truly has high velocity. A whole bunch of them sell per day, sell-through rate doesn't matter. Mark that thing down every day until it sells, because it will sell. And I mean as far as high velocity, I mean for the same item. I don't mean that Beanie Babies are high velocity. They are, but no individual Beanie Baby is high velocity, and if you try to mark down a Beanie Baby every day, you will immediately get to the point of where it's cheaper than you're losing money on the sale. So don't mark down your Beanie Babies. In addition to my massive sales, I've had some massive buys recently. I told you a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, I bought that whole van load of stuff, half of which was game consoles. I finally got around to listing the game consoles, but I had another one last weekend. Place in my town, a game store, they have kind of like a vendor day once a month where people can rent out tables and sell stuff. I always go out to that. Usually I do okay. There's one vendor there I really like to work with. He doesn't give me, he knows exactly what I'm doing. and he gives me just enough good enough deal to make it worth it. I'm not 10xing off that guy. Usually I'm not even 2xing off the guy, but I'm usually buying expensive items off of him and still ending up with a 20% margin when all is said and done after the fees and everything else. And a 20% margin is fine on a $100 item. You don't want a 20% margin on a $1 item. But sometimes there's other vendors there, well, that I can do much better off of. But I went out last week with Meta Bubbles. Couldn't make it. He's normally the one who goes with me. But I went out there last week with my buddy Peter, and we hit the jackpot. You know, from my regular favorite vendor, he was pretty straightforward with me. He's like, Paige, I want to buy this new 3D printer. Can we make a deal for you to buy $400 for the stuff? I said, I think we can do that. So I got $400 worth of stuff from him, which include those bunkers that I already sold for $400. We got a nice custom piece in there that I've got up for $150. I'll toss a picture of that up on the screen. Got some other boxed Warhammer stuff, some of which is already sold. Some Warhammer units here. Some various board games. In fact, I was really surprised I ended up with $900 for the listings off of his stuff, because normally I'm not 2xing his stuff. But then, as Peter and the vendor were helping me pack everything up to load it, another guy came in and started setting up on the empty table. And this guy, he said right as he was coming in, he's like, I'm moving next week and I gotta sell all of this. And so, as he was still setting up, I noticed he had this right here, this 3-row chest here. And I opened it, and it's like, it's full of miniatures, miniature terrain, stuff like that. And I threw him out a rather lowball offer to buy, you know, the whole fixture, everything in it. He took it. From there, I started buying everything. I ended up overall, I think I spent $480 with him. And I got that fixture, this entire box, huge box full of miniatures, that bag, all of these plastic containers full of miniatures. There's a box miniature set, another plastic container of miniatures. There's stuff that's already listed and gone downstairs. It was an amazing amount of stuff. Now, it wasn't the A1 stuff. Most of it wasn't Warhammer. There's a Warhammer terrain set in there somewhere. It's mostly Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, and they're modern ones, which kind of puts them more towards the bottom of the miniature scale, but it's still perfectly great sellable merchandise. And my cost per item is probably going to be 50 cents or less. So I'm going to do incredible off of that stuff. And guess it's all because I made a shot to, you know, just gave a test. And when I was negotiating with the guy, I didn't start looking hard at the stuff. Once I realized that he was ready to deal, I did not really look at the stuff anymore, because I didn't really want him to look at the stuff either. I was pretty much blindly buying these tubs. You know, I could see through them to see what's in them. I was just blindly making deals on, okay, well, what if we throw in this whole stack of tubs and this stack and everything in that box and so on. And it has worked out great. Okay. And somebody in the comment asked me about Garbage Pail Kids, so I thought I'd go over them really quickly. Now, I'm going over the classic Garbage Pail Kids because those are the ones I know. The modern ones are going to be similar, but the details about prices, which ones to look for, are going to be different. Modern Garbage Pail Kids are like every other modern non-sports. When I say non-sports, a non-sports card is not related to a sport, nor is it a piece for a game. It's just a card with a happy picture on it. Now, in your classic Garbage Pail Kids, for one thing, you might see, oh, this one sells for hundreds of dollars or whatever. That's for graded cards. That's for high-graded cards. And high-graded Garbage Pail cards are almost impossible to find for two reasons. They were purchased by children in packs that cost 25 cents, and the centering on the cards was incredibly bad, almost universally. You'll probably not find a single card in 1,000 that could get a 10 on centering. Like, when I actually get a card that looks like it has good centering, I'll put good centering in the title because it's just that rare, and I've only done that like 3 times. And I've sold a lot of Garbage Pail Kid cards. Now, the good thing about the classic ones from the 80s is they're all sellable as singles. I never sell a card for below $2.99 anymore. And people will buy their own name. That's extremely common. But your money cards are usually in Series 1. That's the very first series. Also, I think it's the rarest series. Not 100% sure on that. 15 might be rarer, or 15 might have a lower production run, but be easier to find. Because sometimes that last set of something doesn't really sell out in the stores and it stays in the warehouses. And thus, even if it got produced less, it's easier to find. And in your Series 1 cards, there's two versions of them. There's the ones that have gloss backs. That's a shiny back that if you rub it, it's nice and smooth. Or a matte back. That is not shiny. It has a little bit more of a texture to it. If you don't understand the difference, look it up on Google. I'm not going to spend a half hour explaining the difference. Gloss backs are worth far more than matte backs are. Other than that, there's a few characters of value. It's Blasted Billy or Atom Bomb, the character who was on the box and the poster. I believe it's Nasty Nick, the Dracula character, is valuable. There's a few characters they changed the name on because they were offensive. Those have value. As do some variation cards. Just for variation cards, if you get a collection, they're Series 1. Just look up the list and see if there's variations and see what you have. Because I'm not going to go through and list all of them because you're not going to remember them anyway. And it's easier for you to look that stuff up off its checklist. Now, note, other than variations, all of these cards are equally common. You know, an Atom Bomb is just as common as, you know, card number 37 down the list. He is not rarer. He is only more in demand because he is a more popular character because his picture is on the box. That's it. Nothing special about them other than that, which is sort of Pokemon cards tend to price the exact same way. They do Pokemon cards do have different rarities, but otherwise the prices in those rarities are based solely upon the popularity of the character. Garbage Pail cards are usually always a good buy. If you can get them, I'll buy them for as high as $1 each sometime if it's Series 1, but I'll buy old ones in bulk at 25 cents or 50 cents per card without thinking about it. I'll go, if it's lower, I'll even buy low-grade cards if I can get them cheaper than 25 cents per card, because they will sell eventually. Save listing them for your slow times. You don't want, if you've got really good merchandise to sell, don't waste your time listing your Garbage Pail cards. Same for the slow times. Plus, they sell for more whenever there's an economic boom time going on. So that's when you want to be listing your non-sports cards. Okay, back when they first announced those tariffs, I kind of went in on some backpacks. I bought 20 or 30 backpacks at the Goodwill bins, and honestly, I have no idea whether backpacks are available in the stores right now at normal prices or not, but they're moving pretty well for me. I'm definitely in the profit on them. I'm probably in another week I'm going to put them on sale because otherwise they're mostly going to sit for the rest of the next year. But the backpacks have definitely done okay on you. Anybody else? Did anybody else buy any back to school stuff? Anybody make any moves on that? I solely made the moves just on backpacks because people ignore the backpacks at my bins for the most part. There's not a backpack guy there, so usually I can get the high quality ones, you know, for the same $1.50 that, you know, the junk would be for. Not that I want to buy the junk. Don't buy the junk. Always examine your backpacks very carefully for damage, especially on the bottom and the straps and, you know, everything else. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you. And as Prince says, go on and blow it.
Hmm? Did you say princess?
I said, as Prince says, go on and blow it.
Oh.
Wife ruined the joke. Okay, thought I'd show a little bit here of Julie's present opening, because did have some things from some viewers. Some of the viewers didn't want to be named, so the whole video of that is going to be in the members only section. But here's a little bit of it, and thanks to those who helped out with that. Okay, it's Julie's birthday. Several of my viewers have sent her in things, and also Jocelyn, the Crazy Lamp Lady, sent Julie $25 towards another week of camp. That's up on Dibdit if you'd like to like to send her some money, because there's definitely still more weeks of camp that can be had in the summer. Okay, Julie and her lovely friends Emily and Lily are going to open these packages. The first one is from Paula, Fat Grandma Finds.
King Heart. Oh, nice. I like these. Are these like paint markers or just regular markers?
They are paint markers.
Oh, wow.
Your second Grandma Paula knew what you liked. She knew what you wanted. Because Julie's real grandmother is also Grandma Paula. Hey, now, thinking about eventually getting out of cards completely. I'm okay with the money with them, especially since they're all listed already. But cards are one of the messiest specialties. It's just, there's always worthless cards sitting around. There's card sleeves, there's card detritus. It seems like it makes it impossible to keep your work areas clean, at least for me, because that card junk is all around. And it also doesn't hurt that I just seem to have endless trinkets around all the time too, like, here's a flash drive, why is it there? I have no idea. Here's a Hot Wheels car, why is it there? Because somebody sent me a Hot Wheels car. My wife might have bought it for me. But cards are one of the things that make it hard for me to organize. And the thing is, they're all listed, so if I'm going to get rid of them in bulk, I need to take them all down at bulk. And my fear is, I'm going to go on Dibdit, do a live card show. There's going to be 3 people in the show, and I'm going to give away my entire inventory that makes me hundreds of dollars a month for like $80. And that's not what I'm looking to do at all. Now, for the rest of the day after I edit this video, I have tons of stuff to pack. $1,200 worth of stuff that sold yesterday after I shipped the first time. I've got all that to pack. I've got tons and tons of miniatures to list. I'm pretty much going to be listing miniatures 4 months now, and hopefully no other buys come along. I mean, if killer buys do come along, I'm going to buy them anyway. But, trying to get that consolidation going. Hey, thanks for making it all the way to the end. If you know anybody else who just can't stop themselves, tell them about this channel. I could use the subs.
See, that's One Foot Flipper's nonsense video.
Hey, you made it to the end. Guess what? You're one of the 1%. You not only stick it out and hold the course, you want to get better, which is awesome. Compared to your average eBay seller, they'll show up on the eBay forums. You'll note from their pictures or what they're talking about that they hand address all their packages and then bring them to the post office and buy retail priority labels. And when somebody mentions that to them, they explain how they couldn't possibly do anything different. But you can do something different, and I salute you for it.